What is sectarianism?
Bad job. Two sides fighting against each other all the time for no reason except a misunderstanding.
Sectarianism is what I believe Northern Ireland is most defined by throughout the world. Our study was built on sectarianism. It affects the places we go, the places we shop, who we're friends with, what school we go to, and although we in Northern Ireland like to believe we have moved on, it is steeped in our history and sometimes it is hard to forget the past.
Sectarianism can never be considered just in today's society.
Sectarianism is hard to ignore in Derry.
Sectarian divides our city, and sectarianism can be beaten through youth projects, bringing young people from all backgrounds together.
I think sectarianism is the hatred, prejudice and complete lack of knowledge for another person's race, religion, anything to do with their ethnic background, which is simply due to the fact that people are not being taught.
Has sectarianism affected you or anyone close to you?
It's affected a lot of people, but the one that's most in my head is one time we're up the Western Gallon pitches and we're just playing a normal game of football, and 20 Protestants came up and kicked the head out of a wee boy. It's about 15.
My mummy was beat up at a neutral area by two 40-year-old Protestants because my wee brother was wearing an Ireland top and his best friend was wearing a Celtic top.
You're missing out because you don't know them, but for all we know, they're really good people up there that we might like. We just don't have the chance to meet them, so don't know them. Don't go up there.
If you got to know them now, you'd say you pure like them, but if you didn't get to know them, you'd say no, I don't like them because they're Protestant.
Do you think you are sectarian?
I can't be sectarian without knowing it. Like if you're watching a football match and you're going for one team rather than the other.
It helps they work with Protestants and make it alright.
If you're walking down a street and you see somebody in a well-known Rangers top or Northern Ireland, you automatically assume that it's Protestants just because of the prejudice that's brought up with Northern Ireland and Rangers.
Is it a part of everyday life?
In our area, I would say it is, unfortunately, and it's due to the fact, again, that we have young people in our community who are not being brought on the fantastic programmes, such as the Whistle Project, where they are taking young people away. They're getting the opportunity to meet those from the different areas, such whether it be as Irish Street or the Fountain, and the knowledge and understanding can come with that.
And do you think there's anything you can do to stop sectarianism?
Keep on these programmes, encourage more people to go to them because they're brilliant.
In this day and age in the north of Ireland, whenever you say that you're a Catholic and you're friends with a Protestant, people think, well, isn't that weird due to our history? But whenever you explain that it's not really weird, because why should two religions stop people from coming in contact? And the fact that we did, it might have been hard at the start for some people to understand that after hearing all this, but whenever you get right down to it meant a lot to every single person to be able to say that we have mates and we keep in contact with those from a different religion, those that follow a different culture.
What can be done to stop sectarianism?
Well, there needs to be. I don't think they're ever going to stop sectarianism, because there's always those narrow-minded people who just won't stop because that's what they're grown up to be like. That's the way they were raised. But if you cancelled out that their sort of part of it, then I think it would be better.
Well, we're down in Clooney near Kilfennan. Can you explain why it feels weird to be back here?
Like 2 years ago in the summer, I was just walking from St Thomas Park down there, and I just seen these boys, and 3 boys it was, and I just thought I'd say hello to them and stuff, and kind enough person. And then they walked on, and I walked on, and then about two seconds later, they came on up to me and was like, "What do I call you?" I was like, "Come on, where do you live?" I was back for a manor, but you see, at the time I didn't really know that there was anything wrong with being called Connell around here, because there was no flags or anything like there is now. But they just they came up to me and was like, "You Taig then? You Catholic?" Aye. Well, I'm half Catholic, half Protestant. I didn't see that there was a big deal like it. I wasn't really that aware of sectarianism and stuff. And then they just punched me. It was about there, and they punched me, and it was awful.
And has that affected your view of this area and the people who live here?
It's my first time down since. Wouldn't really want to come down here.
And has the experience affected your life at all?
It's sort of. It just. I would be sort of. I wouldn't. Well, it's far quicker to walk through there to get to town, but sometimes I would just think, no, I don't want to today. I'll go on around a different way. I know it'll be safe then, like. But
do you think the experience has made you sectarian?
No. It's I've got Catholic, I've got Protestant and Catholic friends, like.
Watch me as I rise. I leave today, no trace to find. Watch me as I go and leave this messed up town behind. I just can't put this off. My future's gone, my past it haunts. The things I've tried to hide from you are hard to swallow if you can't chew. Where do you go when you're lonely? Why do you run when you're scared? And how come things never seem to work out in the end?
What is sectarianism?
Protestants and Catholics, just that's what it basically is around here.
It's just when two from both sides just fighting. They don't get along and you can't go to certain places in the town. I don't really, wouldn't really end it like.
Sectarianism is between Catholics and Protestants and fighting and stuff.
Like stuff about Protestants and Catholics and how they get on together.
And what does it mean to you?
Well, fighting, writing stuff, well, basically stuff like that.
Do you think you're sectarian?
Well, I used to be, but not really anymore because we sort of joined together. So we have.
Has sectarianism affected you?
In a way, just as one of a close friend has died, and then they've put stuff up and they're saying stuff and all the rest, and it has started a bit of bother around here, but I think it's sort of all calmed down now.
I used to, because I used to be feared to go to certain places, but now I don't care.
In a big way, aye.
Is there a part of the city you're scared to go to?
Well, it depends. I would be scared going into the town because I would be well known from where I live and stuff like that.
Do you know if others were scared to go to places in the town? Do you know where that fear comes from?
Probably from getting shouted at and getting a battering just.
Because they were brought up with like riots and stuff, so they're scared.
Well, a wee bit from being down when they are riding and then getting on the bus, and then they all know us because we do a joint bus with our community and a Catholic community.
Is there any way of stopping sectarianism?
I say if you just got more cross-community projects and stuff, you might start making new friends and stuff like that. So you might start liking one another.
Do you know if there's any way of stopping sectarianism?
Just bring us all together. Stop all paramilitaries.
So you think that you can do something to stop sectarianism?
Well, not just me myself. I say if like you got a group of people, like as it says, a cross-community thing, that could go towards changing like sectarianism.
Well, I could maybe like get a group together and someone else get a group together and we could all be as one and maybe start doing community work together.
Has sectarianism affected you or anyone close to you?
A couple of years ago when I was younger, it did affect me in a big way because I ran about with a load of boys and a load of girls as well, and living now in a Protestant community, there was a lot of riots between this community and the Catholic community up the street. So I sort of, I was involved in it myself, but I witnessed some terrible things through the rioting, like friends getting badly hurt and stuff like that there through the rioting, that they had to be rushed to the hospital, and it just sort of made you more angry that you wanted to riot even more because they'd hurt your friends. Do you know what I mean? So it sort of just kept going on, and it was a daily thing then, just at the weekends and stuff.
Was your experience from the past, has that made you want to do something about it now?
Well, thinking on the past, I was stupid to riot, to be sectarian. But now I've grown up and I've forgot about it all, and I've just wiped the slate clean. And to me now everybody is equal. At the end of the day, the difference between a Catholic and a Protestant is that you just have different beliefs within God and stuff like that. There, it doesn't matter about anything else. It doesn't matter about Rangers and Celtic, or it doesn't matter about flags. So at the end of the day, we're all the same.
Is sectarianism a part of everyday life?
For those that live in certain areas of the waterside, yeah, it is. Over the town, there is one Protestant community in the town that I have a lot of friends over there, and it is part of their everyday life. There's not a day goes by that there's not something happening, even though there is an interface between them. There's always still something happening, so they have to deal with that in their everyday lives.
How does that make you feel?
I feel sorry for anybody that has to deal with it, because at the end of the day, there's no need for it.
Is there any way of stopping sectarianism?
To stop sectarianism, I think we do need to get more cross communities going. I think if you reach people at a younger age, from the age between 12 to 14, and try and get them involved in cross community work, then they're going to realise then, but not don't tell them, oh, this is Catholic and these are Protestants. No, just bring them together, doing fun activities and the likes of team building and confidence skills. And once they do that there and they're working amongst each other, the thought of, oh, that's a Catholic, that's a Protestant, that'll leave them. Do you know what I mean? And they're going to get on with whatever task that they're doing. So, and then eventually, they might make friends.
Sectarianism is wrong and will never be considered just in today's society.
The majority of young people think sectarianism is a part of everyday life and it's something to get used to.
The majority of young people think sectarianism doesn't affect them or that it'll just go away. Especially, I think, people who are not at integrated schools or who don't face it on like a daily basis, and they think, well, sectarianism doesn't affect me, or I've never been a victim of sectarianism, but they don't really stop to think about how secluded their area is, or how, you know, how their area might be predominantly Catholic or predominantly Protestant to match their own religion, and so they would never really come up against it anyway.
The future of sectarianism, hopefully the levels are decreasing due to the awareness that's being broadcasted and publicised by groups such as Headliners.
The only thing worse than sectarianism is passing it on to younger generations.
My earliest memory of sectarianism is when I was young in primary school. My best friend's daddy used to teach her how to sing all these songs about the IRA and how this was brilliant, and I went home and I said this in front of my parents and they were just appalled, and they sat me down and were like, do you understand how wrong this is? Don't think you realise that your granda is in fact a Protestant and what you're doing is trying to split up with something within your own family.
If there was no sectarianism in my life, it'd be a lot easier. Catholic and Protestant young people need to realise that there's no real big difference, and it shouldn't really separate their lives.
The future of sectarianism is uncertain.